Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that the information in this presentation is not to be or construed as investment advice. The information presented are subject to change without notice, and while we have made every reasonable effort to ensure that the content is reliable and accurate, we have not independently verified the content and are not responsible for errors therein. Please consult a professional advisor before putting a loonie in any of these financial markets. Hi everyone, my name's Richard Diaz and welcome back to the IceCap Canadian Market Wrap. It's been another eventful week in Canadian politics, and so that's where we start today. In last week's episode, 5 Themes for 2025, I mentioned that a change in Canada's federal leadership was on the horizon. I was not, however, expecting to have to discuss it again so soon. Best laid plans of mice and men, I guess. So what did happen? Well, first, I'll start with what did not happen, and that's Justin Trudeau did not resign as Prime Minister of Canada. What he said was, and I quote, is that he intends to resign after the party selects its leader through a robust, nationwide competitive process. We'll get to the so-called competitive process in a second, but first, what does this mean for Canada? Well, to execute on this plan, the Liberals requested and were granted permission to prorogue Parliament until the 24th of March. This means that Justin Trudeau is still Prime Minister, with all the trappings and the authority of that position. Clever boy. Now, what does it mean to prorogue Parliament? This refers to the formal ending of a parliamentary session, and it temporarily halts the work of Parliament. This means all ongoing legislative work, like debates and committee meetings, is stopped, and this includes any potential no-confidence vote. Any bills or motions that have not been passed may lapse, thank goodness for that, and members of Parliament do not meet until the next session begins, which requires a new throne speech outlining the government's agenda. The move by Justin Trudeau and the Liberals required a breathtaking level of cynicism, as it avoids calling an election and keeps the Liberals in power. And in an unprecedented move, it will face a court challenge, led by the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, which is arguing that the decision to prorogue Parliament was entirely in service of the interests of the Liberal Party of Canada. It's early, but given where the Liberals are in the polls, that's my bet for understatement of the year. Regardless of your political leanings, one must admit that putting the business of Canada on hold as a minority government that remains so out of favor while it decides the next leader and the next Prime Minister of Canada is an outrage. And yes, I'm aware that it may ultimately be within the rules. That doesn't make it right. Another crazy wrinkle in all this is that the Liberal Party's constitution allows millions of people who can't vote in the next federal election to be eligible to help pick the next PM. You heard that right. The Liberal Party allows non-citizens of Canada and those as young as 14 to vote in leadership races. Bananas. The reality is that the leadership race will inevitably be a rehash of the same old faces with the same values and the same ideology as the current Prime Minister. In other words, the leadership race is a rushed paint job on a rundown house. Okay, enough politics. So what's in store for the new Prime Minister, whoever that might be? Well, as I said last week, the PM's job is a poison chalice. The unfortunate reality is that Canada faces a number of challenges. Some of these were outlined in previous videos, and so I encourage you to go back and check those out. But I'll lay some of them out for you now. Canada is already in a per capita recession. A falling GDP per capita means that Canadians are, on average, becoming poorer. GDP per capita has been falling for 2 years, and this will likely continue as population growth, which has slowed, is still outpacing expected GDP growth for next year. As a function of years of unsustainable immigration and now weak economic growth, the number of unemployed is rising. And that's with the economy still technically growing in aggregate. Expect the unemployment rate to rise even higher when growth stalls in earnest. Deficits will also rise if and when Canada slips into a technical recession, because as growth slows and unemployment rises, there will be even less tax revenue to offset the spending that has been laid out by the current government, who, I will remind you, has missed the recent budget forecast by 50%. Next is the housing affordability crisis. As this chart shows, house prices to income and house prices to rent are just off their all-time highs, and that means buying a house will remain out of reach for many Canadians for the foreseeable future, with mortgage costs unlikely to fall enough to offset the lofty house prices and the weakening spending power. Even if the Bank of Canada does cut rates again in the coming months, the issue of housing affordability is unlikely to go away. As we conclude this week's video, I'll touch on what, for me, are the two most important charts and challenges Canada faces. The first is a collapse in real investment, or CapEx. The decline is especially stark on a per capita basis, and when you compare it to our neighbors to the south. Canada must arrest this capital shallowing if it is going to improve productivity and sustainably grow and ultimately emancipate the working class. This brings me to the lack of productivity growth and the productivity emergency that the Bank of Canada has outlined. This chart encompasses all the problems that Canada faces, and by improving productivity growth, it can help us meet and face down the challenges and problems that Canada has at the moment. So that's a wrap on this week's episode. Thanks again for listening. Please like, subscribe, and follow for more. It really helps me with the algos. As always, we manage money for families all across the world, so please feel free to get in touch.